Hey, what's up? Quick alt UBI video. None of my videos are ever quick because I'm hyperverbal, but I'm gonna do my best. My friend and I have a lot of ideas about alt UBI, and I'm doing my best to keep up with them with my low capacity and continual struggles to survive capitalism. So I'm trying to open up the conversation, we both are, to people with more knowledge, but also because this has to be a collective effort. It's the only way it works. That's the whole premise, is collective stability. Neither one of us knows everything, you know? That's why we need collective effort, because no one person knows everything they need to know or has experienced everything. Like, I learn something new every day that like reframes my thinking about alt UBI and like how we need to incorporate more people and how we need to shift like the messaging about it to incorporate everyone, because we want it to be universal. You know, the billionaires don't need it right now, but like we want to move toward a place where it's just automatic that people are set up to survive, and we're not doing this like you have to be able to contribute to the as a cog in the you know. So alt UBI is about right now using Patreon and Ko-Fi to set up vulnerable people for monthly financial stability through community care, getting people who regularly support mutual aid to regularly invest in people, and eventually make it kind of this sweeping thing, because it can help people escape abusive relationships, it can help people survive emergencies, you know, and so forth. It can help immigrants, it can help, it's universal, it's about collective stability. We're starting with disabled people and homeless people because those are our most vulnerable people under a capitalist system. That being said, in the United States in particular, you have a lot of caps on your ability to earn if you're on benefits. We don't want to leave people behind just because they happen to be getting government benefits right now, especially because this was tweeted 2 days ago, before the big beautiful bill did whatever it did. To be honest, I'm really busy working on mutual aid most of the time. I know the important thing, which is that something bad happened that's going to affect a lot of already vulnerable people who I'm already fighting daily to keep stable and alive. We cannot rely on eugenic governments to keep us alive. A system is built for what it does. That means a system does what it's built for. So a system that kills is built to kill. They're not invested in our survival. You can't rely on these benefits. I'm not saying to like abandon them. We don't want to abandon people and make people jump into the deep ocean when they can't swim. We need more people problem solving so that we can get this going. I asked this question on Twitter, got a lot of similar responses. It looks like we can put money into trusts to collectively support people so that they don't lose their benefits in the meantime. And that would allow us to build to the place where they can be stable without having to rely on a government that's more interested in eugenics. This video is already 3 minutes long. I am being succinct. And apparently they do monitor stuff like this. So we may have to figure something out about setting up like a Patreon in honor of someone that goes to a trust. But I need people who understand the legality and logistics of these things to think about it and talk to us about it, or make your own video about it. We have to build everything we need. No government is going to give us UBI until they have to replace something they don't control. If you want UBI, we have to build it ourselves first. Sorry, I've made a couple videos this morning and my mouth is really dry and I'm also crushing. But I'm running on adrenaline because I'm excited about this concept. Schools offer free breakfast to students before classes start because Black Panthers went into their communities and realized that children needed to eat to be able to learn. And so under-resourced neighborhoods had higher levels of dropout, lower grades, the school to prison pipeline. The system is built for what it does. Black Panthers demanded that students get fed no matter where they were or who they were or what they looked like, so that students could learn and grow and survive. Our governments aren't going to give us this if we don't demand it. And the way that we demand it is by doing it ourselves. Because especially a government run by fascist capitalists, they're not interested in keeping us alive or giving us money. But the resources exist. We've just got to start spreading them around, and we already do that with mutual aid. We need more people invested in mutual aid. But the idea of alt UBI is that fewer people have to scramble to survive. Crowdfunding daily is detrimental to your mental health. And it opens you up to a tremendous amount of harassment and vulnerability. I've been suicidal this week because of the harassment I'm facing. I've had friends who were doxxed, who had the cops sent to where they live because we're disabled and sick and asking for help on the internet daily. But if we can get people invested on places like Patreon, where there's more protection and the ability to track the monthly income, the master's tools can't dismantle the master's house. But we can't build new tools if we're dying en masse and too disabled to get out of bed, or so stressed constantly about where our next $10 is going to come from that we can't think about anything else. Community stability is your stability. You don't have to be disabled to set up an alt UBI account for yourself. Everyone is vulnerable under capitalism. Everybody is vulnerable under eugenic white supremacy, because it is a slippery slope from I don't think you deserve to perpetuate the species to I don't think you deserve to live, for any number of reasons. As soon as you start justifying it to yourself, you can justify anything to yourself. People don't think I deserve to live because I don't have a job. I don't have a job because I'm sick and disabled. We exist, so we deserve to exist. So, help us figure out how people who are currently on benefits, people who may be losing benefits as we speak because the big beautiful bill is doing its big bad shit, how do we work on getting them stable without making them more vulnerable in the process? If you've liked anything I've said, please watch the rest of the videos in this tagged playlist. And please talk to your friends about it, make your own posts, make a Patreon, and start being like, hey, I need to get more stable. Can you invest $3, $5, $10 a month to help me be stable? It's slow growth, but I know people who are stable this way, and they're not influencers so much as they're mutual aid warriors and chronically ill disabled people who realize that none of us survives without the collective effort for all of us to survive. This is the biggest idea I've ever been a part of, and I genuinely think it has the potential to change so many things for so many people and get us on path to changing an economic system built to kill us. If they won't build safety nets for us, we have to build them ourselves. You can find this on Gwen B with LC's Patreon, linked in my link tree. So for example, something that I don't quite understand, but that my friend Gwen keeps talking to me about, is means testing and how they'll give you a limit of $2,000. But if you, for example, need a safer or more accessible place to live, or you need to move closer to resources like family, community, medical care, you need more than $2,000 to be able to do that, to be able to put down a deposit on an apartment, to be able to rent a truck and pay movers, especially if you're disabled. This is one finite example of how these benefits are a part of a system that are built to kill, because no one, especially not somebody so sick and disabled they can't work, can survive on $2,000, especially not in 2025. And that's not even touching on the fact that they're taking these systems away. And in places like Canada, they're more likely to offer you assisted suicide than actual livable benefits. People are begging for their lives every day on the internet, and more of them are added to the melee, begging for survival. They all deserve stability, and so do the people who are too scared to ask. So do the people who are dying in the woods behind the Walmart, alone in their homes, too hyper-individualistic to even call themselves disabled or sick, let alone to reach out and ask for help. Especially knowing how vicious people are in a capitalistic society rooted in eugenics and ableism and anti-blackness, anti-indigenousness. Knowing how vile people can be when you just try to ask for help. We deserve to be stable and not have to traumatize ourselves and share our trauma just to get a little bit of help, just to get a crumb. We deserve to thrive, not die just to survive. And that's not even touching on how far does this fascistic government go with its lists of disabled, vulnerable people. It's already throwing vulnerable people in death camps, and disabled people have been put in concentration camps since the dawn of colonialism, I guess. I don't know. We deserve it, so let's demand it. Let's make it ourselves. How do we get everyone stable? Let's talk about it. If not now, freaking when, dude?